All right, we're live.
Okay. Move to the next slide. Okay, so what we ended up doing was we combined the IBIS demo and the Junco release planning in this meeting. So what we'll start off with from agenda standpoint is we'll do the demos for the IBIS release. We'll go over the goals of the planning meeting and the overall roadmap for ONOS, the Junco schedule, and we'll go over the contributor slides and see what's being planned for this release.
All right.
So for the morning session, we have one demo. It's focused around the new UI features, and Simon Hunt will be presenting.
Okay. Yeah.
Simon?
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for Thomas to pass me the baton. And showing the main screen. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do here is just demonstrate what this will look like. This is the region-aware topology, and what we have is a demonstration, just a sample of a metro area with 4 data centers. And so the idea would be that with a double click, you can zoom in and get detail of the underlying devices in that region. If you look up here at the top, we've got a breadcrumb showing the navigation down the hierarchy of the regions, and you can zoom back out to the root. So right now, this is still under development. We would actually transition to a schematic of a logical view like this, rather than having the geographic map underneath when we zoom in. And of course, this will actually, we're working towards having multiple layers, so you could start with a world view and then go down to a country and then go down to a region and then down into the data center and even down into racks and switches possibly too. So there you go, very short and very sweet.
Cool. Thanks, Simon. Okay.
So in the afternoon, we're going to have 3 demos instead. So it'll go over the deployment grade work, the dynamic configuration work, and the Lisp work. And so join us at 4 if you want to see those demos, and then goals. Okay, so the goals of this release is to focus on the planning for Junco and thoughts for the K release. So Junco is targeted for the end of February, and then K for the end of May. So one of the main things we want to make sure is we understand what's in plan and what are the dependencies, and make sure that we understand what's coming up in this release. Okay?
All right.
Thomas, do you want to go over the roadmap?
Sure. Yeah, so the primary focus of the next release will be to put together new demos for ONS, and starting with the development of the dynamic configuration feature, which was specifically a development of the YANG compiler and the runtime and the associated distributed store. There will also be some effort to support external protocols such as RESTCON and NetConf under that one dynamic configuration bucket. For virtualization, the idea is to establish external connectivity, enable snapshotting, and provide a provider based on OpenFlow southbound. On the UI scalability, the idea is to continue to productize the regions and layouts, and on deployment to continue to integrate L0 through a free stack. So you can see that primary themes are dynamic configuration, virtualization, and UI scalability, and then continued improvement of the base product for deployment. We also hope to incubate global search as part of the UI features, as well as CLI actually, and do some incubation work on intent version 2.0. For the K release and L releases, the idea is to continue with dynamic configuration, enhance the platform to allow sharding, add the support for transactions and various performance optimizations. On virtualization, in the virtualization category, the idea is to start supporting embedding, further improve the resiliency of the virtual network in face of failures in the underlying network, and add additional southbound mechanisms for as a basis for virtualization mechanisms. On UI I got distracted here. On UI, the goal is to productize the global search, and then start implementing the intent version 2 and intent domains mechanism. We also would like to spend some time updating the performance white paper and actually ONOS architecture paper, and also to incorporate, is it OF 1.3 or 1.5 features? And should it be 1.5?
Suchitra?
I think this needs to
Hello?
be 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, Thomas, this 1.3 also we haven't really looked into it, so we put 1.3. So maybe we can add 1.5 as well.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yes, that was a new addition that I wasn't aware of. So.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, since P4 hardware is becoming available, we want to start incubating integration of P4 into ONOS and P4 support. As we move to L, things get a little bit more fuzzy, clearly, because they're a little bit away. There, the goal is to add support for configuration abstraction, so basically driver layer on top of the dynamic configuration, and continue the intent version 2 hardening, continue support of P4, and various QA enhancements. So that's just at a glance, basically next 9 months at a glance. Clearly, the most detail is apparent in next upcoming release. Do you want to go over the schedule here, Ian?
Okay. So for Junco, this is the sprint schedule. So sprint 1 will start on December 12th and go to December 22nd. It'll be a Thursday right before we break for the holiday break. And then the next sprint will start on January 3rd after the holiday break to January 20th. The follow-on sprint will be January 23rd through February 10th. The key date to keep in mind is the future integration and complete date. And then what we'll do is we'll aim for release on February 28th.
That can't be November 11th.
Sorry, I think I forgot to delete that. So Thomas will actually here.
Oh, that's right, Simon. You had to get your features done a month ago.
Yes, thank you for the input from the guy who's barely awake.
All right, there we go.
Thank you, Thomas.
Okay. All right, I think we can now move to the individual sort of buckets of work. Just as a reminder, it's going to be deployment brigade, dynamic configuration, virtualization, and UI are sort of the primary themes, but we also have additional themes contributed by our collaborators. Is Luca there? we're gonna have to cover this in the afternoon, we suppose, or if Luca's not here. Well, Ian, do you want to just cover this one in the afternoon?
Sure.
Because Luca's going to be here for this afternoon session, and so he can cover it in more detail. But basically, the goal here is to continue improving the existing ONOS platform and intent framework to support various L0 through L3 features that are required by the deployment. This includes VPLS, SDN IP, and routing functionality.
Yeah. And the main feature they're trying to add is bandwidth support, right? So be able to reserve bandwidth through the intent framework. They're also looking at integrating packet optical into the stack.
Yep. All right. So I think we can move on to network virtualization. Now, Ali's not here because he's in China. I can certainly cover this, but Yunsun, did you want to cover this or?
Actually, yes. Okay.
Sure.
Actually, in Virtualization Brigade, we're targeting to lead the proof of concept on K-release. So we are working on we set up the brigade with 9 members. Now we have divided into 3 sub-modules, such as the OpenFlow agent, which is based in the northbound, which is connecting the external and supporting external entities such as external OpenFlow controllers, such as whatever. And then we also providing some cores which connecting each individual virtual network and managing it. And then lastly, at the southbound interface, we're facing the OpenFlow existing OpenFlow cores, and then we will provide a virtualization service such as embedding or some migration or such a kind of things. So now we are working on, and we expect that we will deliver the at the first pages we will support OpenFlow only, but we will gradually implement that the support more protocols, not only OpenFlows, and this is our deliverable goals for K-release. And so we will in K-release we will support that external connectivities, and we show some the virtual network support through the ONOS. This is K-release targeting.
Okay, thank you. Patrick?
Yep. Hi, everyone. So for this dynamic configurations, basically, let me see, it's the latest one. Yes, I just modified a little bit. So the goal is the major goal is the focus will be doing this refactoring. So the other is you will see I itemized the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All this one is except the number 1 is focused on the refactoring. Okay. So the number 1 here is basically we still have some applications which is based on the YMS. So they will continue working their features. Just in case they have some urgent and top priority things need the YMS team to give a quick response. We are going to allocate the resource to help them. So otherwise we're focused on the YAN tools, the YAN runtime. All these are changes are in response to the new refactoring works. Okay. So now the demo APP now is coming to the picture. Basically, we need to secure the team and work with them to on the plans and set up the milestone to sync up with refactoring the development and see the when to start the integrate. So the proposed release delivery. So from the refactoring point of view, besides this APIs and the functionalities features. So the goal here is the minimum within the minimum support. Okay, so at least we should support the demo 1 and make the demo 1 and 2 work. So the demo 1 again is just a single vendor and single device programming. But the challenging part is we want to build the common things to make the arbitrary device model work. I'm seeing that is still the challenge, and I'm seeing some challenges there. We will continue to talk about this offline. So the requirement side for the demo 1, we still need to clarify and to make sure once we delivered, include the APIs, the behaviors should meet with the certain key requirement. So that is one. So the layer 3-way PIM part, that is the demo 2. Okay, we'll continue team up with the layer 3-way PIM team, make sure current the new architectures and operation flows meet and match with their requirement. So that is something that we are focused on. So the release key, basically, is Thomas gave the roadmap in his roadmap slides. I see it's okay with me. That the shardings, the transactions, all these advanced features need to be covered. Okay, so it's no problem. Optimization is a very important part. Okay. So basically based on current investigation to the changes, I think we need the community continue to help us to in the 3 areas. The one is we need one more developers in the stores. So the current I'm thinking that more and more issues could come out in this store area. Now if you take a look at the design requirements, the store area is become a critical and the central point. A lot of features will be there, and operation flow change, control flow change could bring in a lot of code change. So I think the better to get one more developers there. So the QA now come to the picture. In the beginning, we already get the support from the Verizon team. Thank you very much. So we continue work with you guys and bring QA plans in this J release. Okay, so now we have the RESTconf and the netconf change. The RESTconf part used to be the guys who's working on. Now they are moving to do something else. So we need to find the people who are working this area and cover the RESTconf and the netconf. So the fix and the changes is not much if you have the background and the knowledge in this area. But I hope we can get one people who know both. We can do the change. If we cannot find it, I just put the 2 here. It's the 2 person. One is to cover the RESTconf and not cover the netconf. Okay, so here that's all from the dynamic configuration part. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. Simon, you want to cover the brigade?
Yes. So we've got quite an ambitious list of items for the Junco release. The main one is to work towards completing the new topology view, and that includes adding the traffic overlay behavior back in and supporting overlays. But we've also got a number of other items. For example, the intent table. We want to provide a more palatable rendering of the information about intents, for example, the treatments and so on. We're also looking at adding a new view, which will give a rendering of how the partitions are set up in the cluster. We're going to be spending time designing that, with, hopefully collaboratively with the community, and then looking to implement that in the K-release. And then there are a couple more kind of cosmetic things that we want to do. For example, having up and down arrow navigation of table views, re-implementing the dark theme to provide better visibility in demos, and so on. Oh, and then of course, we're also going to investigate how to do the index global searching, which I should point out, although yes, the GUI will do it, it will be available also to the CLI and REST. So you should be able to search for items through those APIs also.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Suchitra, I presume you're going to cover the QA?
Yes, Thomas, I will. Okay. So for QA, for the J-release, mostly we will be covering for the feature level testing. The Brigade features, we will be concentrating. Most of our coverage will be on the Brigade features, deployment, virtualization, if there is any. And our plan is also to collaborate with Dynamic Configuration Brigade test members and then provide some support over that feature regarding the automation. And we started BPLS test coverage as part of I-release, and we couldn't complete, so we will continue that test coverage in the BPLS area. And we have few enhancements in the intents and the HA tests, so we will be covering those as part of J-release. And we also have the security test that we plan to investigate, like what are the issues that we faced before, and we want to see like what kind of test coverage was done as part of security tests, and that will be done as part of J-release. And any enhancements and actual execution as part of those security tests, our target is to do the integration as part of K. And regarding the performance, we continue to have the collaboration with the BII and Verizon and Huawei groups. And we continue to provide support in those areas. And the other, the performance benchmarking, we are planning to see what kind of improvements that we want to make on the performance white paper and then updates. And we come up with the plan in the J-release, and the actual release of the updated performance white paper, we plan to do it in the K-release. Next slide, please. So some of the areas that we want to enhance is on the test on automation framework and Mininet, where we were facing some issues while we were executing some tests, and we wanted to enhance them. So we have a couple of them on our plate, and we plan to work on one or two in J, and mostly we try to plan to work in K release. I just added the OF 1.5 as well here. So we plan for the OF 1.3 and on 1.5 and work on 1.3 release in J release, and for 1.5 we mostly will cover in K release. And there are some miscellaneous enhancements that we want to do on our wiki pages and update few things as part of templates. So that will also be done in J release. So this is for the QA coverage. So we would also like to get some inputs from like development if there are anything that we missed and which are prioritized. So please let us know so we can add it as part of the J and K accordingly.
Suchitra, this is Patrick. Quick, the two input and the questions here. So the number one is jump to the performance testing. Do you have any update the current status about this one? What's your the goals for this one in the next release? That's the question one.
The performance? What are the goals you mean?
Yeah.
Right now we don't have any new test coverage, but what we are planning to do is we we just run the same tests, whatever we have, and we had actually enhanced few of the topology scaling tests as part of IBIS release, and our plan is to just continue and then get the updated numbers. So that is our plan for the performance.
Okay. So the second one is I saw you put this the Brigade collaboration with the development team. Yes. So the Verizon team in India, they already claim they have the 1 or 2 engineers, QA engineers, to help us on the Brigade testings. So the current issue is that they don't have enough equipment. They want to set up something, the testing environment for the time being. So I hope we can start the working on a plan as early as possible, because I'm thinking that could take a longer time than we expect to build the testing environment in their lab. If you don't mind, we can start some meetings with them or the kick-off email thread to talk about this this week.
Yeah, definitely, Patrick. I think sometime back I think there was another email thread where I was requesting like who was involved as part of QA, and we were like we were like having plan where we wanted to give some overview on our automation framework so that we can start, and then some of the test setup that they can do and learn before they could actually start developing their tests.
Okay.
So please let us know like whenever you want to, so we can set up a meeting accordingly. No problem.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks. So Thomas, I'm done. Thomas from QA side.
Okay, thank you. On a packet optical, I don't think we have anybody on to cover that, so I think we're gonna wait till afternoon. Is that all right, Yen?
Sure.
And I think same is the case for the Lisp southbound. Jean will cover that in the afternoon. So I think you want to cover the timelines for this Junco Sprint one and next week?
Sure. So Junco Sprint 1 will start next week on Monday on 12/12. We'll have the sprint planning meeting at 3 p.m. PST. It should be on your calendar, the ONOS calendar. For this week, since we're in between planning and Sprint 1, the focus is going to be on QAing RC4, the final release of IBIS. We're going to have a bug scrub tomorrow. I believe Sujitra has it on the ONOS calendar. And then the intent is that since we're doing sprint planning next week, for folks to scrub their JIRA epics and stories and make sure that those are in place as we head into sprint planning.
All right. I think that's it for the morning session. We're going to have an afternoon session where we'll cover this as well as the additional themes for whom presenters couldn't come for time zone reasons. All right. So thanks everybody. We'll talk to you in the afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.